Okay, so we're recording. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share an application. So I'm sharing a screen. So now we should see the Contrast Rebellion website. Some of you may have already seen this before because I do show it to you. It's a good case for using adequate contrast in your websites. Remember, what we're doing is communicating, and if we're not communicating effectively, we're not fulfilling our purpose for our website. Even if we're making a movie, telling a story, selling a product, or we just have a family website because we're having a family reunion, you still need to be able to read and parse your website. Okay, this is a vertical website. It's one page only. Notice the motion in the background when I move the cursor. That's being controlled with CSS and with some JavaScript, but you can control motion with CSS. You can rotate things. Use some animation and it'll actually look like it's rotating. And you achieve this effect by layering your page. It's called a z-index, which is also a CSS rule, or ability, I should say. It's an attribute. What you can do with the z-index is you can layer the content on your page on top of each other. And it's like one of the pages, like for example, the top page will be transparent or semi-transparent. So you can see what's going on underneath that, and that's what's going on here. So I scroll down, you're going to see some other content that moves. I don't know if you saw that big circle right here. This moves. And again, how we achieve this effect is by using the z-index. And it helps us to layer content in a certain order on top of each other. See how it's still there? It moves. I don't know if you can see it with our connection. So this is a good example of a vertical website. Provides a great argument for making sure your websites have enough contrast. One of the things I want you to do that's not done on Contrast Rebellion is I want you to have a fixed menu. So when I scroll, it'll always be at the top of the page, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute. But I want you to notice how every section looks different. You can tell that it's supposed to be a different idea. And that's what I want you to do in your Project C vertical website. Every section needs to look different. And a lot of students put in back to top. You can do that for the menu. But really, if you're using a fixed menu bar, which it tells you how to do in the W3 website, you don't really need to do back to top. I mean, you can. And it also depends on how big your sections are. So we looked at Contrast Rebellion. Let's look at another example of a vertical website. Notice how the menu up here at the top stays in the same place. It's fixed. And some of you are already doing this, but I want to point out it is a requirement for the vertical website. You can have a horizontal menu bar like this is, or you can have a drop-down menu. And if you do have a drop-down menu, like for example, National Geographic for Kids, I still want some type of bar up there so it doesn't look like it's separate. And you still have to have a page title or a section title, which should be underneath the bar. It should be at the top of every section. And I want you to have a site title. So above this, for example, you could put a banner area. You just have to code for the whole header section to be fixed instead of just, for example, just fixing the nav bar.